Are you all in or all out? Hello, all you BC WrestlePod nerds out there, and welcome to another rendition of Elite Insight, your AEW pay-per-view review team here on the BC WrestlePod. And we have a colorful cast of characters. Of course, I am one of your co-hosts, Mikey El Jefe, on the BC WrestlePod parts. Of course, joining me this evening is Mr. Samoa Cup of Joe himself, JVL, rocking with the Tony Storm in the background. And
Mikey.
Yeah.
Mikey, I thought you said Professor was going to be here tonight. Professor, what the hell happened to you?
I grew hair.
That's what you look like with hair?
No, I'm normally not this pretty, you know.
No, you are extremely pretty. I'm surprised. My God.
De-aged a little bit, grew a little hair, you know.
Got deeper voice, amazing diction. I love everything about this. Mikey, can we make sure that he keeps this hair?
I mean, that is very fair. The professor with hair, sexy beast. But in all seriousness, joining us as a special guest this evening, because normally he is only on the WWE reviews team on Sundays, but Minnie is here tonight, and the reason why is because he got the opportunity to go watch Double or Nothing live.
Minnie had the experience all of us wanted, and I'm super jealous. And on top of that, I feel like the fact that our love cannot be contained across all of the entirety of the Bi-Conics Wrestling Podcast lore, I'm so happy I have Minnie on a show with me for the first time in, I think, forever. So welcome to you.
Yeah, me and JV have done WrestleMania. One of the review nights is the last time we did something. But before that was like a year. We didn't do anything. Yeah, I was there. You can actually see me on TV. I sat basically third row from the barricade on the floor, right behind the Spanish announce desk, basically. So shout out to my buddy Nick and his awesome mom for getting tickets for his birthday, and him decided to take me over his girlfriend.
That's amazing.
It was awesome.
You were his girlfriend that evening.
I reminded him why you don't take me in public places, because my energy sometimes is he was like, Evan, I don't want people to look at us. I went, watch this. Yeah. And I got chance at an AEW show.
Well, on top of that, you're going to an AEW show, you're sitting third row. You don't want to be seen?
Right.
Yeah, he didn't want other people to get too much attention. I also made sure for my WWE guys out there, I put up my ones, so we were right.
There were a few of you that did that, which is kind of funny.
It is fantastic, but I'm so happy you're here. We got you for a limited time, so yeah, so I'm happy you were there, and I can't wait to ask you about certain things live, about certain insights. But before we get into the Double or Nothing review, if you like what you see on the screen here, you can watch all our full-length reviews, whether they be live or edited down the line later the following day on the YouTube, or you can go back to Twitch to watch the VODs because they are up there for the week. But if you can't commit to a full-length video, you can check out the social medias, which has bite-sized clips to give that serotonin the 2 and 3 minutes that you need to watch us just make fools of ourselves talking about wrestling. We also do report cards for every single show and pay-per-view, and I, despite being on mini vacation, managed to still do the report cards for all the events that went down Memorial Weekend. Thank you for the plan ahead feature on the social media sites. You are amazing. Love you for reals. But we also have merchandise, and that's the final bit. So I'm putting this link in the chat right now on YouTube and Twitch. We have merch. We have merch for all the review squads, both in the US and the international teams. We also dropped our Hot Boys Summer Collection, where it is a mass luchador with buns out and tanning all day. So make sure to grab that. And especially one of the things I love in this limited collection of Hot Boys Summer is a embroidered bucket hat with our little summer logo. So it is a lot of fun. So make sure to grab all that. You know, it is hot out here. You got this. So go to bcwrestlepodshop.fourthwall.com. Thank you for coming to our ad sponsor. Now, without further ado, let's just jump into it. For the first time in forever, no Frozen. Double or Nothing didn't come from Las Vegas. It was in Glendale, Arizona. So we were under the desert sky at the Desert Diamond Arena. So let's just jump into it because we got 2 0-hour / buy-in matches that we got to talk about. And the first one is this tag team match that sees the team of Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford taking on our lovable TNA team T and A of Anna Jay and Harley Cameron. First of all, I gotta say, I really do. This is just a minor thing. I really love the way that they designed the stage and how they had the LEDs and the lights like accenting. I was like, these entrances kind of go hard. Like, not gonna lie. Also, Megan and Penelope, your ring gear was immaculate, and Anna and Harley also dressing in a similar attire was great. As far as the match itself goes, I will admit it did take me a little bit to get into it because the first couple of minutes they had to settle in and kind of figure out the rhythm. But then once things got going, it got going. Megan Bayne doing Megan Bayne things, Penelope Ford showing that agility, and Anna Jay leaning into the comedy with Harley Cameron, especially when we get into the eat it spot, literally with Harley going.
Yes. Can I also say I'm surprised that it took them that long to kind of get into the rhythm of it because they've been fighting each other for weeks. So I don't know why this of all times was, maybe it was the crowd, maybe it was because they knew Minnie was in the third row. I don't know, but it was weird to see them take that long to get it going.
That it did. I'm going to start with JVL. So JVL, as you mentioned, we have been seeing this feud happen for weeks in various iterations, in tag team matches and singles matches between these competitors. What did you think about this bout in the buy-in?
You know what? With the winners being who they are and everything going about it, this seems to be either like this is going to be the start of women's tag team division in AEW, as everyone's been saying, or this is a great way to keep Megan Bayne bubbling hot while still not allowing her near the title scene yet again to give some time for breathing. So I enjoy this feud. I enjoy how the four have gotten together. I really want to see what they'll do as they split apart going forward, if they split apart, or just to give them room, because now you've got two teams of women that can definitely make some damage here in AEW.
Agreed. Minnie, this was your first experience with the Megasis and Penelope and all these folks. So what'd you think about this pre-show match?
Megan Bayne's fucking huge.
Oh yeah.
I was like, God, she is tall as hell.
She dwarfs Joey Janela all the time.
Oh, dude, it was a cool match though. It was a great way to get everything open. I got lucky enough that a lot of people that were in front of me, the 2 rows in front of me, were still empty during this portion because people were still coming in when they started this match. So I got to see I had a perfect view of everything that was kind of going on. It's a good match. I enjoyed it. Great way to kind of get the crowd kind of moving a little bit, get guys loose and get everything ready to go.
Did you feel like you understood kind of the styles and what they were going for, having not seen any of them work this way before?
Yeah. Everybody paired super well together with how they wrestled. Megan Bayne doing this. She's like, I'm the really big, strong woman. Yep. Watch me throw everybody. The eat it spot was funny as hell. Because I heard about 15s that should be me from the crowd.
Yeah.
It was solid. Saw a little opening dark match, kind of not even dark match. It was recorded, but just way to kind of get everything going. I enjoyed it.
Good way to get the crowd up. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
We love it. So, of course, Anna Jay and Harley Cameron pick up the victory here. We will probably see this continue for the next couple of weeks, especially since we are getting into, thankfully this week is regular AEW, but then we get into we'll talk about it at the very end, JVO, but we got told that Fyter Fest is going to be 4 hours.
Oh, that's a special at best. Come on.
I was like, this is a special. This should not be a pay-per-view.
No.
And then you have Summer Blockbuster the following week and then Grand Slam Mexico. So that's going to be interesting. But we move on because literally an hour before the buy-in was supposed to start, we get this announcement that we have a second buy-in match. And this was an 8-man tag. This is let's get all the high flyers on the card as much as possible. So this buy-in match is an 8-man tag that sees the reformed Roppongi Vice of Rocky Azucar Romero and I Want a Great Cheese on Those Abs, Trent Beretta, teaming up with The Crew, which is Action Andretti and Leo Rush, taking on the team of basically the baby faces, which is our Ring of Honor World Champion, Bandito, teaming up with Homie to the Channel, AR Fox, and teaming up with what seems to be the newest formed tag team, Los Titanes del Aire. So the Air Titans, which is Commander and Hologram.
Now, I am sad that we had Hologram following Harley Cameron and we didn't get Harley Graham showing up at ringside. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, where was Harley Graham? How dare they? But what I figured what was going to happen with this match happened. You have basically a it's essentially your cruiserweight / high flyers all in one match, you know,
Super
this is going to be
Juniors,
fun.
yeah.
This is literally a miniature best of the Super Juniors. This is your 8 cruiserweights who could fly all over the place. And this was just pure chaos. And I loved every single moment of it. I really love Hologram and Commander as a tag team. So I would love to see them be built up more to possibly be given a chance at the titles. I'm happy to see Roppongi Vice be, you know, back in AEW, but now in the heelish form that they are. AR Fox and Bandito, I love you. Crew, you were here. Okay, that's mean. Action and Leo Rush are very good wrestlers. It's just that they're, well, Action's personality is not there. Leo's great, but we have no direction for them. But besides those nitpicks, this was a fun match. I loved it. Minnie, I'm going to come to you first. This was your biggest introduction to, well, here are 8 people on the roster and go. So how did you feel about this 8-man tag?
Oh, this match was sick. Oh my god, watching especially the face team, just all the cool flips and everything they were doing, really, really cool. That's my first time being introduced to Hologram. I've seen AR Fox, I've seen Commander before, Commander, but I have not seen Hologram and Bandito before, and seeing these guys in person for the first time. Awesome. I was like, these guys are fucking sick. This is dope. You can see all the flips that close. Like I said, the people in my front still haven't really showed up. People right in front of me didn't show up until after the opening match. So I saw 3 matches without these guys in front of me. So I got to see a lot more. And I still got to see a lot. Like, don't get me wrong. You can still see damn near everything, but having a clear non-obstruction sight, match is awesome.
JVL?
This was all fight, no filler. This was just, let's set the crowd on fire. Let's get everything moving. I feel like Crew would be a better tag team as part of like House of Torture in New Japan. Like they'd be better in New Japan than here. But in general, it was fun to see a bunch of high flyers just have a good time and work each other. I am sad about one thing because Roppongi Vice is great to have around, but you know, Trent's mom, like we don't get Trent's mom in the van anymore, and I'm a little sad about that. But this is so much fun to see. Nothing's going to come out of this. Nothing's going to be built off of this. But it was just a fun match to have.
It was. And with the buy-in, I've come to expect they just throw these guys on the car. Like, I believe, what is this? Like the 4th or 5th time straight, AR Fox has been on the pre-show 0 hour / buy-in of all these pay-per-views this year for AEW.
Oh, yeah.
And I love it. I want to see him start, you know, even if it's just a small feud, like have him go after the TNT championship, like go face off against Adam Cole, or have him have a feud with Ricochet. Yeah, Ricochet and AR Fox would go off. And I hope that's the case, because when we talk about a certain match, I feel that now we need to find somebody new for Ricochet to kind of fight. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But the baby faces pick up the victory here. So it's Bandito, AR Fox, and Los Titanes del Aire to walk out as your victors. And that concludes the buy-in show. So now the scene is set. The stage is ready. Let's get into this main card now, because we kick things off with a very divisive one, I feel like, on the internet and probably between all of us here on this panel right now. But we kicked Double or Nothing off with the Women's Owen Hart Tournament Final. Our TBS champion Mercedes Moné, the CEO, taking on Miss Haterade and Hater Nation herself, Miss Jamie Hater. Again, the entrances were spectacular. I loved the stage design and how it just was great for both of them. Aesthetically, they are giving me 2 different things. I will say my piece about this match. It is no secret here at All Elite, you know, with the AEW review team at All Elite Ensemble and here at the All Elite and the Elite Insight pay-per-view review squad, that I'm hit or miss when it comes to my Mercedes Moné matches. Some of them have not been great. Others have been actually really good, like the ones that she's had against Chris Statlander, I think were great. And even her New Japan matches have been a lot of fun. Now, with all that being said, everyone could disagree with me here, and it's okay. I actually really enjoyed this match. I thought this was a really good back and forth. I don't think that this was a 5-star classic, as some outlets are saying and are, you know, talking about. I think this was a very solid match. I think this is a cleaner Mercedes in this match, but I also think that is partially due to her dance partner in this one being Jamie Hater as well. I will say, and I texted it in the group chat, that this opening match by the end of it was a heartbreaker for me because I was rooting for Jamie so hard. Mercedes Moné does win with a schoolboy roll up for the surprise roll up, which is the most devastating move in all professional wrestling history. And we'll be moving on to Y'all in Texas for a championship match between the winner of Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa later in the evening. I'm going to go to JVL first because JVL, as the president of the Jamie Hayter fan club, I know we've talked a little bit that this was a tough pill to swallow for everybody who is rooting for Jamie. So I want you to talk about this. Yep, there it is. I want you to tell me, what did you think about this match and your overall thoughts of Mercedes going to Y'all in July?
So entrances are great. Match was pretty darn well worked, covering for a lot of flaws in a certain area and a certain wrestler. I must be in the minority here, other than you, Mikey, because everything that's been on the wrestling internet and the wrestling journalism this week has been, this is great for AEW. This is going to be amazing. This is the money match. This is what people were asking for. This is what had to happen, obviously, is Mercedes Moné has to get a title shot at Y'all In. I'm just confused. Mercedes hasn't worked much of a style other than kind of mediocrity for most of the year and a half we've had her. She's gotten all these titles because of her name, but in general, hasn't found that groove to really make me care about her as a heel to the point she is, or a babyface. She's just kind of there as a piece on the roster for me. So I wasn't excited about her getting into this match. There's a built-in storyline going into Y'all In, being in Texas to rematch with Athena. There's so many other ways this could have gone, especially with the fact that she's the actual mid-card champion right now. So you're putting the mid-card championship on hold to set this up. It seemed like there were too many. I don't know how to best put it. It was just too complicated to make this make sense. Whereas Hayter has a built-in story with Jamie. Yes, doesn't have the name recognition in the general wrestling press, but Mercedes kind of has lost that luster too. I want to ask this of Minnie afterwards, being a WWE person, knowing who Mercedes Moné was. Am I just in the minority here and wrong that I think that Jamie Hayter should have gone on to face Toni Storm? Am I being just completely beyond it? Because yes, I get the ending with the small package going up against the big package, which Tony has gone on and on about. But at the same time, you could have had Jamie Hayter do that. And between their moveset and everything else, the spiked small package, which looks like a DDT, which is crazy, and a couple of hard hits, Mercedes just doesn't look like she's still found herself in AEW. She's done better in New Japan. So I don't know. I was very disappointed in this. But Minnie, give me some perspective on this, because you're an outsider looking in. How wrong am I?
Well, the crowd there was split pretty 50-50 on who they wanted, because the entire time you had CEO and Jamie Hayter chants the entire time. I was rooting for Jamie Hayter. I know who Mercedes Moné is. I know her Sasha Banks. I knew all that. By everything that was going on, I wanted Jamie Hayter to win. I thought she was. I just my first time seeing the wrestle. I thought she was dope as shit.
Yeah.
So the crowd was split pretty 50-50 on who they wanted. The match was still pretty good. The couples just looked, Jamie Hayter spiking herself on her head with that package roll was the biggest little thing. But other than that, I thought the match was pretty good. And after the match, everybody standing ovation for most of the crowd for Jamie, because she stayed in the ring for a little bit. I wasn't happy with the victory. I like I said, I was rooting for Jamie, but the crowd was pretty split on it.
Let me ask you this. For a wrestling promotion to then set up a title match at their next pay-per-view between their mid-card and their champion, top of the card champions, does it make you trust that they can book their women's division at all in this respect, or that they just don't care about them?
This is the same thing that we've had the issues with the WWE, is they are putting their mid-card belts in main event slots, and they should not be there, because you're essentially going into AEW's WrestleMania and not having your mid-card belts be presented there. So why even have the mid-card belt? Or have her lose it before you get there so they can then do something with it. But with the way they've been pushing Mercedes, is I don't think she's going to lose. Either she's going to lose it all in, or she's going to win it all in. I don't know if she'll lose before that.
It makes me feel like they're going to push her to win it all in, which again makes me angry for a whole host of reasons, because Toni Storm is in a great second run with the belt right now. I don't know. This is just, that's scary.
It's a weird slot for her to be in. This is a lot more complicated than the men's side, in my opinion.
And
even from somebody on the outside looking in, like Jamie Hayter was such an easy slot in for it, and she can be one of those where you can have her win or lose in nothing. It wouldn't be too terrible.
Yeah,
against Toni Storm. Or Mercedes, it's like Toni Storm kind of has to win, or like they're really just like, nah, Mercedes Moné is everything.
Yeah.
When she won, I definitely did scream, "Your cousin Snoop Dogg is not proud of you." But I did yell it out. But by the time she won, she was already up the ramp.
She just ran out off. There.
Yeah, but I did yell that out. So I'm going to put that out there that I did yell that out.
If someone can find that audio from another fan camera somewhere, please send it to us.
Yes, we would love to tag at BC WrestlePod on the socials. We'd love to see it. But we literally have a whole month and some and like 2 weeks to build up to this. So we still got some time. So who knows what's going to happen. I was still rooting for JB. Mercedes does win. Again, we will see how the next couple of weeks go for us as we continue to cover this story as it develops.
Wait. Are we getting a rematch in the next 2 weeks and Jamie Hayter takes the TBS championship from Mercedes?
You know, if that ends, I hate saying consolation prize, but if that allows Jamie to be a champion and like fight girls left and right, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
But speaking of fighting, the girls are fighting kind of in this one. I'm gonna preface by saying this. I love Nigel. I love Daniel. I love FTR Bald and allegedly aggravated assault. And tiny little Stokely down there.
This match was funny.
Good.
This match was
as like seeing everything and hearing the wrestlers go with the crowd and everything, especially with FTR. This match was hilarious. I was laughing my ass off most of the time until I watched Nigel McGuinness take a shatter machine on the outside of the ring, and I thought he died.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up. I was all in having a good time, and then I got taken out with it because I was like, "Oh God, I think Nigel might be hurt a little bit from that."
But I'm sorry, I kind of took the spot here. This match was fun.
Yeah.
This was a really fun match. I got to watch Daniel Garcia do his dance in person, which was really funny. And then I did get FTR Bald to scream "fuck you" to me because we were all making fun of his bald head.
Nice.
I love that.
He must be loving that everyone's on top of it because of him and Ricochet now. It's just so
weird.
weird.
We did the same thing with Ricochet, which is really funny when we get to that match what Mark Briscoe did. But yeah, everybody kept chanting "ball, ball" like they did in SpongeBob, so I yelled out "my eyes," and he's like, "Yeah." Oh, this match was just really, really. It was fun. This was a fun match. I wish Daniel Garcia and Michael McGuinness won, but I mean it makes sense why FTR did. It's FTR, cool. I did a couple times too. My buddy Nick kept giving me shit for it. I kept yelling, "You guys are more fun as the Revival." I got a few chuckles around me for that one.
Not bad at all. That's awesome.
We love it. But I agree. I think this is a fun match. I will say there are 3 matches on this card I feel that felt more Dynamite Collision worthy than on a pay-per-view, but I still enjoyed them. This was at the top of those 3 match lists. I had such a fun time with this one. I will say, though, normally I don't like pass-out finishes, but the fact that Daniel Garcia did not tap, but instead passed out, still makes him look strong booking-wise, and you still have somewhere to go story-wise with him against FTR. I love that FTR kept antagonizing the audience and kept antagonizing Tony Schiavone. My only big critique about this match is I know it's not in his personality. I wanted Tony Schiavone to be a little more aggressive and, yelling at FTR. I was like, sir, it's
nearly 70 years old, Tony Schiavone.
That is very true as well.
I thought he was going to get slapped, to be honest with you. I thought one of the FTR guys.
There were a couple of times where I thought, I was like, oh, FTR is about to put hands on these man. But it did not. But again, this was a fun one for sure. JVL, any additional thoughts on this one?
No, I can only just say it was fun. It was fun to see the reactions going to it. I love that what Minnie did to keep the stuff going with it. It was just so good.
Cool. So again, FTR does beat Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia. Daniel did pass out, so FTR win by referee stoppage. So I can see where FTR either brags or they want to put Danny into the ground for good, because we still got Daddy Magic Matthew Menard running around in this storyline too somewhere, who's still he's not feeling Danny going this direction. So we'll see what happens with all of that. And it looked like he was a little hurt that he picked Nigel over him to wrestle in this match. So
a little bit.
We'll see. But we move on to the next match. And okay, I was mad because when we first got this announced, I was like, this is why. And then by the end of this, I was just like, this is actually really good and very bloodied. I wasn't expecting it to be this bloody, but then again, it's Mark Briscoe.
Me too, but
I knew it was going to be bloody as hell between the stretcher and the scissors. Like I knew blood was happening.
The spot of the night was watching Briscoe took chemicals to
and shined his bald head.
And shined his head. That was awesome.
Stick his head in the shino bolo.
This is one of two matches I couldn't watch too much because they were on the opposite side of the ring from me, so I had to watch it from the screen. For the most part, this match is still a lot of fucking fun. I did the my eyes thing again, but I didn't really get much of a reaction from Ricochet on that one.
Well, it's hard with Trevor the Vampire.
Yeah. So. Also, shout out to Ricochet coming out in a Naruto Akatsuki inspired coat, which was
sick. That was sick.
Listen, as an anime nerd, I love Ricochet for doing that for us. Next time, I need him to come out in, Mr. I need him to come out in a JoJo's coat and my life will be complete. But anyways, as far as this match goes, again, Minnie, you hit it. My highlight was, literally Mark Briscoe taking chemicals and giving this man a noogie by shining his bald head with cleaning material.
The shooting star press to the empty stretcher.
Oh. Yes. Oh. That was also crazy. I was like, so that hurt me. That hurt me.
I like what they did with this match, though. How they kept. We'll talk about when we get to the Anarchy in the Arena match. Mm-hmm. But what they did with this match, I thought that was really cool. I thought my confusion is spoilers a little bit. Was he? I think he was in the ambulance the whole fucking time. I don't think he left it. I think he just sat in the ambulance the rest of the night.
Wouldn't be surprised if he did.
Well, it's temperature controlled in there. You can watch stuff. Yeah, it makes sense. It's nice and comfortable.
He took a nap.
Someone probably gave him brought him some snacks or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So again, this is just a nitpick. This was a stretcher match, and I guess it technically was a stretcher match. I was like, but technically this was an ambulance match because you had to put the person in the stretcher and then put them into the ambulance, which I was like, fine. Mark Briscoe is going to bleed when Mark Briscoe is going to bleed. I love how the crowd booed Ricochet when they denied Mark Briscoe the Sabu tribute spot. And he's like, no, and just slapped him out of the air.
Oh, he threw the chair at him.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Threw the chair at him and metaphorically slapped him out of the air by throwing a chair at him. And the crowd was not happy about it. But through a bloody back and forth and not once, but twice scissors being used in this capacity, as well as some low blows, Ricochet is able to get Mark Briscoe into the stretcher, into the ambulance, closing the door, and Ricochet is the winner. So now that we have kind of gone through this kind of more heelish, gimmicky route, and surprisingly, I learned this is Ricochet's first pay-per-view win since coming over to AEW, which is kind of crazy. I was like, really? But now that he's got his first pay-per-view win, let's start getting him set up for something more substantial. Again, him versus like a Daniel Garcia, him versus, I don't know, anybody on this roster.
To kind of get champion Ricochet.
Yeah, exactly. Have him go up against Adam Cole for this title. Like, I would be here for it. Ricochet is living his best life right now as this heel, and I love every single moment of it. Good job, both of these men. This was a better match than I thought it was going to be.
I was glad to see it on the card after seeing it. I was not looking forward to it before, so this is a great job by those two.
Exactly. Okay.
This should have been Dynamite.
I'm going to be honest. So again, I love everybody involved. So we have the AEW World Tag Team Championship match, Hurt Syndicate versus the Sons of Texas, which is my boy, Sammy Guevara, and the Natural Nightmare, Dustin Rhodes. Love him. Love everybody involved. This should have been the main event of a Dynamite Collision. This was one of my low points for Double or Nothing that kept it from being an A, is because this match was here to defend the titles, but honestly, it could have been on Dynamite or Collision.
I thought this match was dope.
they got back to hurting people, and I love the storyline progression on it too. I feel like there was a gear that was missing. I don't know what it was for me when I was watching it. It just felt like they didn't step it up.
Switch Shelton Benjamin out with MJF, and I think you probably would have had that gear.
Cedric Alexander, anything, yeah.
Yeah, but I like the match. It was honestly one of the best parts was one, watching the barricade get destroyed, and two, MJF telling us all to fuck off.
Yeah,
he jumped right in front of us, was yelling us all to fuck off, and then watching MVP drop his cane.
Oh jeez.
He was getting us hype, and he was going up, and he dropped his cane. The motherfucker almost bounced over the barricade in front of us.
That would be a great souvenir to take home.
Oh, that was really, really cool. To me, I was like, I've watched Shelton and Bobby Lashley since I was a kid, and MVP. I watched these guys since I was a kid, and I can see Dustin as, I guess not Goldust, but Dustin Rhodes. I'm like, I've watched these guys since I was little, so this is really cool being able to see these guys in person.
Yeah,
all a lot bigger in person, and I got to see Shadow Dreams in person.
That's true.
So
I whip that out.
I was like, damn, I had a great time. This was great.
I feel like this is a better match live than it's got to be, because with the way it was presented on the pay-per-view itself, there was something that was drained out of it, either by the camera work or something else then, because it really didn't have that electricity you would have in the arena.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. So, like, one of the things I'm definitely going to say, being at a show, especially on the floor that close, a lot of the tropes that we would give shit for, like, oh, why is he kicking out of the finisher 13 times or all this other stuff? When that was happening, I was getting out of my seat going, holy shit, he kicked out?
Yeah.
And I was
see how much damage
my mind was blown by all of it. And we'll talk when we get to the main event, we'll talk about that. But a lot of the stuff, it's a lot more. It's like, oh, everybody's like on TV, this match wasn't that fun. I'm like, in person, this match was great.
There you go, folks. See things live.
The only match that was a little bit of a stinker was the match that followed the Anarchy in the Arena match, because everybody was so burnt out from the Anarchy in the Arena match.
Well, they knew that was going to happen, though, because there's nothing that really could follow that, and they had to build something.
Any match was going to, and we run into that problem every single pay-per-view so far this year, is that somebody's going to suffer on this card. Thankfully, It wasn't a women's match, because they always put the women after those crazy matches, and then it takes a while for everybody to get to it. But again, MJF actually does kind of help in this match. Bobby Lashley reluctantly accepts the help, but isn't happy about it. And the Hurt Syndicate retained the tag team championships over the Sons of Texas.
We hurt people.
We hurt people. So the Hurt Syndicate win. We shall see who their next opponents are going to be. Because right now,
this match was fucking awesome.
Okay. I'm gonna preface by saying this, and we're gonna talk about this, because JVL, you have known this for a very long time, and Minnie, you kind of know about this. I championed Speedball Mike Bailey so damn hard since the inception of the BC WrestlePod universe that we have created over the last 2.5 years. Like, this kid has had amazing match of the year contenders every single year the last 2.5 years that I've watched him, between him and Josh Alexander in an hour-long match in TNA. He got to fight Will Ospreay just on a random pay-per-view for TNA. He gets to travel all over the world, having bangers in New Japan and GCW as well. And I'm gonna be so for real, I think it is because of the way that Speedball Mike Bailey is and how he wrestles by mixing wrestling and his mixed martial arts training. This is the closest New Japan Okada that I have seen since him joining to AEW. This is the true Rainmaker Okada, the closest we've gotten that we got to see him in New Japan. This match fucking ruled. I was grinning from ear to ear. It had everything I wanted from good wrestling, funny moments like this, my leg into the crane stance, and that kick from the crane stance was so fucking clean. Oh my goodness.
So
this match was sick. One, Okada has a really cool entrance.
Oh, the lasers are such a good addition.
This match is dope. And I saw the Rainmaker in person. Speedball Mike Bailey is just doing flips everywhere. His kicks are insane. He does that push super kick. It's not like a full super kick, but that push. That was really cool seeing him hit that. This match was awesome.
Everything I wanted out of it, every minute, moment, and speed change, it just was brilliant. And seeing Mike Bailey get a lot of great stuff in on Okada too. He didn't just roll over him. I was so excited for all of this. I was so happy to see it, and it really did recharge me on this.
It made Speedball might have lost, but he didn't look weak.
No.
I feel like this is this match, I feel like, again, this was the most successful in accomplishing the two things that I wanted. It reminded us to be like, oh yeah, Okada is actually really good, and him as a champion is really good as well. And Speedball Mike Bailey looked good in the loss, which is important because this is between him and Kevin Knight. Even in loss, they both have ended up looking good in the matches that they've gotten so far. And I'm excited to see where Bailey goes next from here because strap the rocket to Speedball Mike Bailey. This is a perfect example of wanting to see people succeed. And Speedball Mike Bailey has been utilized very properly so far. But again, this was at the top. This was at the top of my 3 matches of the night. Like, this was amazing. And I was like, more of this, please. Give Okada more of these types of opponents. And then I feel like I will complain less about him as a Continental Championship.
They've only got about like a month left before he's going to work Kenny Omega and see if they're going to unify that title. So let's see who else they can get him into. Or are they going to not use him like they have been for the last couple months?
So only time will tell. But again, this match ruled so freaking much. I knew it was going to be good. I'm so glad that it blew it out of the water for me. Like, so good. But yes, my lesbians. I'm just kidding. So
I mean, they're here, they're queer.
Yes, Tony Storm. Tony, I swear, if you don't put that on the shirt, we will take it and we will use it here. Not even gonna lie. But we have our AEW Women's World Championship match next. Timeless Tony Storm defending her championship against the person who won the 4-way eliminator 2 weeks ago to get this opportunity now working in AEW full-time is the best way to pull it. Miss Mina Shirakawa. Minnie, you told us at the top of it, well, off camera too, that you missed the entrances for these two because you all were getting snacks because they didn't do like a in the arena show of the things. But we at home saw the vignette that they played showing Mina and Tony's history both in AEW and New Japan too and Stardom for those of you who did not know that history. I thought this was now I'm going to use this word ostentatiously, so please be careful. This was a very cute match between these two because it gave me a mix of what I expect from women's matches in AEW, but it also gave me some roots in Stardom with some of the spots that they decided to do. Again, because both of these women have had Stardom in their blood, they were able to work a little bit more snug in certain areas, which was great. And we got everything that I wanted in this match too. We had good wrestling, Joshi style stuff. Luther being caught in the crossfire was great to watch. Mina just backhand fist him. It was great. Mm-hmm. This match was a lot of fun. I was never in doubt that Tony was not going to win here, but this was a lot of fun. And this was really, really good. And this is a definite welcome back for Mina now that she's in AEW full time. JVL, I come to you first as we all champion for the women here, and champagne, if you will, because this is Mina and Tony we're talking about. What did you think of our women's championship match?
Well put together. I also feel like the storytelling was done well as on top of that, the going after the leg, making sure that Tony couldn't do the hip attack until Tony had to power through it. Really good back and forth there as well, and a big sign of respect all the way through. I wonder whether this is going to mean Mina comes back and does something else, how this is going to affect her, whether she's going to be fed to Megan Bayne next, or whether there's going to be something else. But I'm intrigued for what they're going to do with both of these women. I'm worried about Tony against Mercedes Moné now, but in general, this was wonderful.
That is a very fair assumption. Minnie, the timeless one, and everybody wants Mina. What'd you think about this match?
With original music.
Yes, with the original music.
This is my first time watching both these women wrestle. And Toni Storm's thighs are way bigger in person than I thought they would be. They were fucking huge. With that out of the way, she sold the leg really well. My only gripe is I feel like Mina should have done the figure 4 leg a little bit better.
Yeah.
But other than that, I thought this match was great. There's a lot of men being men in the crowd, but
that's a normal thing for when Toni Storm wrestles.
So, and she pushes into it. A lot of people are getting mad at Luther because he kept getting in the way of us. He kept going right in front of us. Everybody kept telling him to move.
Oh, Luther. Best job in the world.
Yeah, Luther, I love you. You were fantastic. But again, Toni Storm retains her championship, and it's officially made after this match that we are getting Timeless Toni Storm defending her title against Mercedes Moné at Y'all in Texas. So we shall see what happens in July. So this is gonna be fun. This is good. I'm still looking forward to the match. I'm very interested to see who ends up walking out as the winner and what goes down with all of that. So more on that when we get closer to Y'all in Texas, because first,
this was insanity.
I have
fucking awesome.
Literally, okay, so literally the name of this match is the best way to describe this. Like, we have seen previous Anarchy in the Arena matches. This one was buck fucking wild, more so than anything. Like, so this is Anarchy in the Arena. We have what I dubbed Team AEW, which is Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, Willow Nightingale, and the Ops, which is Katsuyori Shibata Bread, Powerhouse Hobbs, and He Gon' Kill You Samoa Joe, taking on, Team Death Riders, which is the Death Riders, so John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli. Tonight will be the night that I fall for you, Wheeler Yuta. And the baddest of women. Honestly, I would have rather just seen Willow and Marina fight the whole entire match while the boys went off and did things, because, my God, these two had some of the best spots of this match. And Marina Shafir. And then they were teaming up with the founding fathers, colonizers of AEW, the Young Bucks.
I love so extra, man.
Oh my God. It had to be.
Listen, it was ridiculous, but it makes me excited because I've confirmed this on previous AEW reviews. Me and Mama Luguilla will be at Dynamite 300 and Collision 100, that double taping in July. So I can't wait to see how extra they gonna be.
Gonna be so good.
This match was wild. Like, there's like nowhere to start. We had literally jukebox playing. Like, we had I'm so excited. We had bodies hit the floor. Like, we had some crazy spots. Like, the music finally died when Claudio ran Swerve into the speaker, which was hilarious.
Well played.
Swerve had me dying, which is how nonchalant he was stapling people, including one in the balls. Marina Shafir and the overhead camera giving me nightmares with Swerve Strickland getting stapled gun in the tongue. You crazy freak.
For real, too. He showed it afterwards.
Was that her earring that got chained up?
Yeah, her gauge got locked up to the thing. Willow Nightingale giving like spears and pushing everybody around. Like,
Kenny Omega hit everybody with snapdragons.
Oh yeah, that was like a snapdragon party.
Yes, my favorite part of that whole sequence was, before giving it to Marina, the Snapdragon, she's like, fucking do it. And I was like, yeah, Marina can take those. She sold the hell out of that one too, because that one looked so gnarly.
Yeah.
This match was bananas.
It was even worse in the crowd. So everybody's coming out. The Death Riders start coming out, and I'm like, okay, they're coming from the crowd. They're doing their thing. I'm a huge Kenny Omega fan. I made that obvious. So I'm trying to watch Kenny, but next thing you know, I turn to my left, and 10 feet from me, fucking John Moxley is stabbing Powerhouse Hobbs with a pair of scissors. I'm like, holy shit, this is going on. Next thing you know, everybody's going nuts. I turn around, Samoa Joe is up there smacking the shit out of Claudio Castagnoli. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? The next thing you know, somebody's going through a table.
Oh.
I have to go back and rewatch the match because there was so much going on. I couldn't keep track of what the fuck was going on. Then we saw Swerve come out on the fucking forklift.
Which, Judy Bagwell, little tear in her heart that she couldn't do that.
It's insanity, but this match was dope. Watching everybody chant "You fucked up" when everybody tried to do it, when they hit they were hit Powerhouse Hobbs with a chair, and then the staple gun. Oh, it was great. This match was awesome.
This match was truly Anarchy in the Arena. We had a brief appearance from Gabe Kidd. Mark Briscoe got involved. Hook came out, but it looked like there might be some tension between him and the Ops.
He came out dressed looking like Kenny.
Right? This match was wild. And then, of course, I love when babyface do the smart babyface things, because the Ops and Willow use all their combined muscle and weight to lock the Death Riders in the ambulance. And Mark Briscoe helping too with that, which would allow Swerve and Mox to double team the Young Bucks, and Swerve with the modified Swerve Air Force Ones like with those thumbtacks attached to it, doing a swerve stomp into the face, which looked gnarly too. Your winners is Team AEW. My God, this was true carnage, and I lived for every moment of it.
There's so many moments, so many things you could talk about all the way through this, between the last stomp at the end to going back and forth. Kenny Omega getting a EVP trigger with thumbtacks in his mouth. Like, this was rank and file. We want hardcore. We want it now. We want just complete and utter mayhem. And Minnie, I am so jealous you got to see what you could see, but I can understand, like, you missed half the match because it was everywhere.
Dude, I couldn't even see half the Willow Nightingale stuff because she was outside fighting. Samoa Joe apparently was fighting outside the arena. I didn't see that. I did get to see Kenny Omega do a one-winged angel through a table with sparks flying everywhere. That was cool. Yeah, this match was insane. That was just everywhere you look, somebody was fighting. It was great. Swerve's gear was awesome, by the way, with the whole Predator
Let's talk about these
with the gun.
Yeah. The ring gear was crazy. Swerve coming out as the Predator, Kenny coming out as Captain Omega America. Like, that was wild. The fact that Matthew and Nicholas wrestled in that whole entire cosplay of like a 13 Colony member was just commitment. But of course, my favorites, were Willow because she was dressed in overalls, but she gonna kill you. And it wouldn't be until the camera zoomed in when Kenny was about to give her a Snapdragon. I was like, this chick has chains in her hair braids. Like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And then Wheeler out here just looking like he about to shot a Hot Topic. Like, look at this picture. You cannot tell me otherwise.
People were booing the shit out of Wheeler Yuta. To be honest with you, they kept telling him to kill him. I was like, yeah, people really don't like him.
He gets so much hate.
He gets a lot of hate because, like, it's a whole story. We don't have a lot of time. But Team AEW wins. I love that we reserve Anarchy in the arena for only one pay-per-view a year, and just this match is only used once a year, and it's always a Double or Nothing. This was probably my favorite Anarchy in the arena since the inception of this company.
This is the template to go from, except where do you go from here?
Right. This was a big 6-on-6. Like, what's going to happen? And it's crazy because you have this, and then later in the summer, allegedly, we have like Blood and Guts. So who knows what's about to go down with all of that. So we shall see, but we move on. And I felt so bad for this match after Anarchy in the arena. Somebody was going to suffer. And unfortunately, it was this penultimate match of Double or Nothing, in which we had a 6-man tag team match, which was Paragon, which is our TNT champion, Adam Cole, baby, teaming up with Kyle O'Reilly and Roddy Strong. And they were taking on the Don Callis / Don Fallis family of the immaculate Konosuke Takeshita, who him and ELP had a banger not too long ago.
Huge, by the way.
Yes, yeah. Takeshita is huge. And also shout out to him and Yuka Sakazaki, who are apparently married, which is crazy. What? Yeah, that news dropped earlier today. I was like, this is wild. It's great. I love their little it's so cute. They posted on their social medias. Y'all are so great. But Konosuke Takeshita teaming up with the Proto Star Kyle Fletcher and the walking weapon himself, Josh Alexander. The content of the match was great, but you could tell that the crowd was still recovering from Anarchy in the arena. And it was very unfortunate. Also, Lance Archer's dry humor on commentary, I will actually like that. I'll take more of that, please. He's like, yes, no, I'm going to kill them. I'm like, good on you, Lance Archer. You are literally a walking embodiment of a toy. I love you. I'm going to be honest. I don't have a lot. I thought the match was fine. I thought it was good. Everybody did what they needed to. It's just they had a really hard time working against what happened before in Anarchy in the arena. But everybody still looked good. Don Callis family pick up the victory here. So and this is the sad part. The match was fine. I was more excited with what happened afterwards. But before we get there, I do want to get both of your guys' thoughts about this match before we get into what happened afterwards. So JVL, I come to you first. Any thoughts on Paragon versus the Don Callis family?
I feel like they're wasting the TBS championship in Adam Cole right now because Paragon can't buy a win. Like, I don't see what they bring to the table right now other than nostalgia at this point. And Don Fallon's family, they've got to keep getting wins for Josh Alexander, who they just brought in. It's Konosuke needs to go out. All three of them need to start doing singles runs and something else, but they keep trying to push them as a trio because they've got nothing for them. I worry that this is just going to bury them for a bit, and there needs to be something to turn around the fortunes for these 6 men.
Yeah. Minnie, well, any additional thoughts on this match?
It sucked that this is the match that kind of died everything because I was really excited to see Adam Cole, and I was really also bummed out he couldn't see his Canadian Destroyer, whatever he calls it. I forgot what it was called.
The Panama Sunrise.
Yeah, we couldn't see that because they stopped it. I was still completely hyped after what happened after. Because it was really cool, but yeah, I was kind of bummed out that this was the match that like everything sucked out. But it was cool watching Kyle Fletcher knock somebody's hat off in front of me. That was funny.
That's kind of cool.
So, again, Don Callis family wins, and again, it's very unfortunate. I was hyped to see because again, the summer is going to be busy for AEW because we are leading in, and we'll talk about it at the end because we got some CMLL people visiting over the next couple of weeks to build up Grand Slam Mexico, which is taking place in Arena Mexico. But we also have Beyond the Horizon at the end of summer, in which it's Forbidden Door. So after the match, Don Callis family attacks Paragon. And then, of course, somebody who has been fighting with the Don Callis family, mostly at Josh Alexander, Brody King comes out with Tomohiro Ishii. I was like, oh, this is fantastic. And then, of course, the familiar New Japan theme song, Go Ace, as the Ace, the president of New Japan.
Like, seriously.
I was like, Hiroshi Tanahashi just shows up. And I was like, this man is giving me Giga Chad aura. Because literally Brody and Ishii run down the ring to start attacking. And Tanahashi is just walking around and then he starts fighting. I was just like, this is setting up something.
I lost my mind when I saw Tanahashi come out. Then he hit a sling blade. This is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Well, because it's crazy for me, and I guess in New Japan it makes sense, because his final U.S. appearance was his match against Takeshita at Windy City Riot earlier this year, and now he's back in the United States to start slowly building up to Forbidden Door, or who knows, we might see something happen at Dominion, which is in a couple of weeks for New Japan, so that should be a lot of fun. But I was like, oh my God, this is actually...
Is that Private Party?
Oh my God, is that Private Party? I miss those boys. But I was excited. I was hyped because, again, we'll talk about it more in depth, but we are getting a rematch between Josh and Brody King this week. I'm like, oh my God, I am not ready because my body was not ready the first time, and I thought it was immaculate. So, again, it's sad that I was more interested in the ending of what happened after the match than the match itself. But again, these six had a tough time fighting against Anarchy in the arena. They did the best they could. But, yeah, this was an okay match. Oh my God. Okay. So
this
Lord
match was a fucking banger.
Holy shit.
This deserved to be the main event.
Oh my God. Okay. You know what? So this is the men's Owen Hart final. This is Will Ospreay versus Hangman Adam Page. Winner will go on to face Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship at Y'all in Texas. Oh my God, this was a masterpiece. And then what made it better for me is what I learned earlier today, that apparently leading into this match, Tony Khan made the final decision before the show started because both Hangman and Will Ospreay backstage were telling Tony Khan and championing for their opponent to be the ones to walk away the winner in this one.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this match was amazing. And again, JVL, you and I talked about this during our predictions that we would have been fine either way. But now that, especially watching the scrum afterwards with Hangman, and we're building him back up as the babyface Hangman Adam Page.
Yeah.
The redemption arc is beginning. But oh my God, this was my favorite. I'm not going to lie. Just from in-ring and like in-ring psychology and in-ring storytelling wise, this was my favorite match of the whole entire card. I don't care if that makes me a Will Ospreay fanboy. Will was great, but this was all about Hangman, and this was such a good story for Hangman to win this one. But holy crap. And also shout out to the camera crew for not continuing to cut to different angles, especially during that one sequence where they kept reversing and doing stuff to each other. Less cuts in wrestling, please. Thank you. JBL, I'm gonna come to you first. Like, main event, what'd you think?
I was pulling for Will on this one, honestly, and I was, but I was happy both ways. The back and forth was well put together. They built the story of respect between the two of them as much as they wanted to kill each other. The kind of the gunslinger mentality in both of them, where they had basically the standoff before they did. He's like, tell him, like, hit me with this and I'll kick out because I'm going to hit you with that, and I'll going back and forth on that, and barely missing blocking that buckshot lariat at the end was chef's kiss. Just spectacular wrestling storytelling and character work.
Love it. Minnie, what a main event you got to experience live, especially between these two.
Oh my God, this match was insane. All the kickouts and everything like that, which a lot of people normally would give shit to. I was standing up most of this match. I'm like, he kicked out again. This is awesome. And then even the table breaking early didn't take me out of the fucking match. This match was so damn good. I got to chant cowboy shit for most of the match. We had a fight forever chant. This is awesome. This match was incredible in person. Watching everything that happened, the collapse when he went for the brain fart is how awesome this match was. When Will was going for his hidden blade,
yeah,
and Heyman just collapsed and he missed and they laid there for a while. Then Will using the Titantron to see he was setting up the buckshot lariat. Finally using smart wrestling things. This match was awesome. This was really fucking good to close the show.
Again, this match was amazing. And you know what? Hangman Adam Page does win. He is your Owen Hart men's tournament winner. He will again go on to face Jon Moxley at Y'all In. But the juxtaposition of watching Hangman in 2024 at the end of All Out, just losing his mind after beating Swerve in that lights out steel cage match, to him just having a moment to like literally about to cry, and the redemption trumps the aggroness that we have seen Hangman have to fight back from. Like, oh my goodness, this was fantastic. And of course, I love me some good fun mitts. Will had to sit with that loss, but he eventually shook Hangman's hand at the end of it.
Well,
my God.
They'd had the whole promo about the fact of like, if either one of us win, yes, we want to kill each other, but I have your back up against Moxley and the Death Riders.
Exactly. So
he even said in the beginning before Will's entrance came out, he said whoever wins has a responsibility to bring that belt back to AEW.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So whereas I'm nervous with Mercedes possibly taking the title away from Tony, I'm all here for Hangman completing his redemptive story and being the one to put Moxley down and to put the Death Riders down and take the championship and fulfill that responsibility of getting that title back for AEW and the fans. But that brings us to the end of Double or Nothing. Again, outside of some few low points, this is a very strong pay-per-view. And I feel that so far in 2025, AEW has started to find their footing again. Having finally being able to establish and I do have to say, I appreciate just the small changes they're doing, from set designs to how they're doing shows in smaller venues. And I love that so far in 2025, the talent they have signed is quality over quantity, like they have in past years. But Double or Nothing was fantastic. And you know what else was fantastic? This was the first show that we competed in our AEW league for the new season. So I'm going to put this on the screen. So this is how Double or Nothing ended up for everybody. So the Professor, due to him being the only one to pick AE Team Death Riders and Anarchy in the Arena, and because I was the only one to pick Hangman Adam Page to win, both of us sit at the beginning of our season at 8-2, and JBL very close with the 7-3. So we are still early in the prediction seasons. And so what the rest of the summer looks like on your screen is that we are doing All in Texas next, and then Forbidden Door. So
holy cow, a lot of coming up.
A lot of things coming up for AEW in the summer, but that's going to wrap us up here. But really quickly, I do want to let you know what you got going on for the remainder of the week, because it is also very fun. If you have some free time this week, then might I recommend the following. So tomorrow evening, I will be tagging out, but Adolfo will be tagging in for me, and he will be helping Will and Macho help go through NXT's Battleground, which was another pay-per-view that happened on the same night as Double or Nothing.
I learned some shit about that. What the fuck?
Wow.
Okay, yeah. Will, Mancho, and Adolfo will talk all about it, but we had a possibly one of my possibly a women's like one of my possible women's matches of the year happened here at Battleground between Stephanie Vaquer and Jordan Grace. That match was solid. But again, we have a new TNT World Champion, so that's wild too. So you got to tune into that to see all that unfold. But if NXT is not up to your speed, then might I recommend later at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, we got Los Lobos de la Lucha, our weekly CMLL programming, where we are gearing up for basically the big shows happening in June for CMLL, which includes Grand Slam Mexico. And yes, it has been confirmed after talking to the CMLL team. We will be doing a joint collab show with Grand Slam Mexico between the AEW folks and the CMLL folks.
Nice.
So you're going to have lots of people on here. It's going to be great. On Friday, you can catch the TNA crew as we get into TNA's Under Siege pay-per-view that happened over the weekend as well. A kind of B-side pay-per-view that actually housed some really great matches. This is a lot of fun. So check into Six-Sided Scholars for that review. And then we wrap things up on Sunday with Dual Dynasty, as we will be talking about Raw and SmackDown. And as if pay-per-view season wasn't already crazy enough, we also have to be doing our predictions for Money in the Bank, which is next Saturday. Lord have mercy.
I can't lose. I gotta stay in the lead, you know.
And then, of course, coming up also, Mystery Wrestling is
that review is all like, we have such a packed schedule next week and this week. I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. I know. But I like it.
I don't want to.
Yeah, but I like it. But that's going to be it here for us here at Elite Insight. Minnie, thank you so much for being our special guest this week. Who knows if Professor's allowed back on the island, we'll see what happens. But no, I'm glad that you got to experience your first AEW pay-per-view. And you know what? Yeah, it's so good. But that is going to be it for us here at Elite Insight. Thank you so much to my hosts and for everybody watching at home. So until next time, remember, from all of us here at BC WrestlePod and specifically Elite Insight and our special guest, Minnie, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay Bi-Conic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We'll catch you tomorrow for a plethora of fun reviews. But until then, sayonara, adios. And even though this is not the WWE show, Minnie, remind the folks, why do we do what we do here at BC WrestlePod?
Well, JVL, it's simple. 'Cause we wanted to.
We'll see you later. Ta-ta for now.